Yeah. Hello everyone. This is Shanmugaraj. Welcome to today's video. So today is the second video on topic of why Agile, right? So let's continue the discussion on why Agile. So today we are going to talk about and discuss how it differentiates from traditional method. Agile is how it's getting differentiated. So look at that picture. One picture talks about waterfall method. One picture talks about agile method. What is happening in waterfall method is there is a discovery phase. You build business requirements. You get sign off from a customer on your BRD and SRS, right? Generally, you build those documents. Once the requirements are got signed off, you go to design phase where the technical design, right, is being done. High level design is being done using your architects and designers, user interface designer, whatever it is, UX designer, whoever it is, right? And then once design is frozen and got a sign off from customer, you move to implementation where you do the low level design and coding and testing, right? Coding and unit testing. So once you implement that and get a sign off from customer, then you move to testing phase. That's a sequential approach, it's called waterfall method. But what happens in agile method is you do this all four operations within a particular sprint or iteration. Look at the sprint 1, sprint 2, and sprint 3. You see that you discover, designs, develop, and test and deliver, right? Deliver a workable software, working software. And then the sprint to do again all the activities, sprint 3, all the activities, right? So you are do it in a small packet section. You do deliver an MEP on MEP on sprint, right? Look at this particular slide. This particular slide again differentiates between difference between the phased approach and agile approach. But you need to understand the words are highlighted in yellow. These are the very important two flavors of agile. Without these two flavors, we cannot call that particular project is in agile. Right? What are the two important flavors? One is incremental value, right? That's nothing but your working software, your MEP, right? You deliver incremental business value to customer, sprint on sprint, iteration on iteration, and you do the delivery on a short span, right? You are not delivering a big releases. We are delivering in a smaller releases, small packets. That's called iterative delivery. I'll give two scenarios. One scenario that every month, right? Every month you are delivering something to customer. Let's say that your sprint is 1 month duration. Every month you are delivering something to customer, but the customer is not experiencing the value, right? You are delivering something which is customer does not want it, but you are following an iterative delivery, right? You are delivering something to customer, but customer does not want those features. Customer is not experiencing that value. Is it agile? No. Let's take another scenario. You are delivering value, what is customer wanted as a software working software. But what you're doing is instead of every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks, we're delivering first delivery goes in 2 months and second delivery goes in another 6 months. You are not doing in a periodical delivery. Is it called agile? No, it's not agile. So only when you deliver customer on a periodic manner in a short span of 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and the software is working, it has an incremental value which is consumed by customer, then only we call that project or the working model as agile. If you are missing any one flavor, we are not going to call that particular project as an agile one, right? So if you ask me, these are the very two important flavors of agile, without which we cannot call that project as an agile project, right? Let's look at another aspect of the traditional versus agile. In a traditional method, we work as an independent functional groups, right? We talked about the sequential approach. Business requirements are done by BAs, implementation done by development, and testing done by testers. So each one work as a silos and they will integrate at the deliver. But what happens in Agile is they work as a cross-functional team. Everybody has to work. The tester, programmer, domain expert, everybody has to work together for every sprint as a cross-functional team they deliver it. Second important aspect to discuss is between traditional and agile is cost of change. If you look at that, waterfall method, the cost of change increases as you move forward. What is the cost of change? The amount of money you're going to spend by changing a requirement or being by changing your way of working. Right? Let's say customer is. Let's assume that you worked on requirements, analysis, and design and coding, and you have started delivering for UAT. The customer is finding a bug, and he is giving a change to you. If the change is affecting your requirement, that means your requirement is wrongly captured, your design is not done. Look at the amount of rework is going to happen. Look at the cost of change. As we move forward in a sequential approach, the cost of change is been increasing phenomenally. But if you look at the agile approach, the cost of change is quite nominal, right? It's not very big as well. It is very low, right? See, it's been maintaining at certain level. Why? You are delivering an iteration and iteration. You are talking to customer. You are having a sprint demos, understanding whatever the changes coming. Because you are delivering a small package, small workable software, right? So then your cost of change automatically comes down. That's very important advantage in terms of customer satisfaction, in terms of higher return on investment, in terms of your internal investment as well. The cost of change as such. Right? Another important change, a difference between traditional approach and agile approach is the project constraints. In a normal traditional approach, right? If you look at that PMI, there's a triple constraint. I will talk about it. Cost and time and scope are triple constraints for any project management. In the traditional approach, we keep scope as fixed. That means I'm going to deliver this particular module or that's been scope is fixed to the customer. The time and cost has been varied. You can vary the resources, you can vary the schedule. This is how the traditional thing works. But what happens in agile approach is you keep time and cost fixed. That means you keep the number of people as constant. You keep that number of iterations also constant, right? Every iteration has 2 weeks or 4 weeks. The time is fixed. The release is fixed. Release time is fixed. Every 3 months you go for release, right? But what is variable here is the scope. Depends on the skill set of the teams. Depends on the availability of the team. The scope is being varied, right? That's how instead of I deliver something every 2 weeks, I'm not worried. What I'm worried about is whether I'm delivering 10 stories or 8 stories, right? That's a question of availability of bandwidth of the people, the skill set. That's all. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to meet the customer every 2 weeks. So that is a very important change in agile approach in terms of its mindset as well, right? Let's look at that picture. Another picture on differentiate between waterfall and agile is that this brown color boxes we already seen that there's nothing but your MEP or working software. So what happens in waterfall? You are delivering at the end of the release or end of the product actually. So what happens in agile is you deliver on sprint. One box and two box and we become three boxes, right? In a waterfall you deliver all the three boxes at the end. In agile you deliver one boxes and then the second box and the third box. That's how it works. So while you deliver in small packets, right, the risks are coming down. These white dice are nothing but your risk. You work on an uncertainty product, and then you start delivering. You work with the customer, understand the changes, then your risk is coming down. But what happens in waterfall process? The risk is going up. Look at that number of dice, 2, 4, and then it's, if you there's nothing but your cost of change, right? There's a green box is there called technical debt. What is a technical debt? Is cost you are paying for rework due to the workaround you are doing for technical things, right? Instead of delivering or instead of putting a right design in place, you are providing some kind of workaround for that particular situation, that increasing the technical debt, right? So cost of the amount of money you're going to pay for the technology lapses is called technical debt. See, if you look at the waterfall approach, the technical debt is increasing, right? But what happens in agile is an evolutionary design or just enough design. See, every you do the design changes in every sprint onwards. You just design either for a particular sprint or particular iteration, right? So you are more adaptable to the changes than your technical debt is always coming down, right? So this is one of the major advantage compared to traditional approach. Agile brings a lot of value and money to the table, right? So let's look at that final slide, which is a value proposition that agile development brings. Right. So the dotted lines are nothing but waterfall approach. This orange color or yellow color line is the agile development. But what happens, they're giving a four value proposition they're talking about. This particular slide is talking about. One is visibility. If you look at waterfall traditional approach, the visibility is very low, right? In agile, visibility is very high because of the daily stand up, burn down chart, the velocity measurement. Your visibility is very high. Everybody knows, your customer knows what's doing, what you guys are doing. Your management knows what's doing. Anybody comes in a room and understand who is doing what and what's happening, how many sprints are going on, you know, how many stories are being done. Every information is visible to everyone. Adaptability, adaptability to the changes, right? So, waterfall, your adaptability goes down as you move forward, but adaptability is maintained. Business value, right? Business value is increasing sprint and slowly. Risk is being reduced, right? So these are the very, very important value proposition agile brings to the table compared to traditional approaches. Okay, so that's all I have for today's video. Thanks for listening. Please put your comments, what are the other topics you want to listen in the agile world. I'm going to give a lot of videos on Scrum, XP, Kanban, Safe, Spotify, all those things I'm going to talk about. So please tell me what are the topics you would like to listen in agile world, right? So uh, the videos we have seen so far is very fundamental videos on why an agile is in existence, why agile has become so adaptable today. Almost every software company, every non-IT company also started adopting. Almost 80 to 90% of the companies today, 80 to 90% of the clients started adopting agile in a very, very, very well manner actually. So please suggest me the topics you would like to listen, right, in future videos. I'll be happy to put your comments in the comment section. I'll be happy to give videos on that. So thanks for our patient listening. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.